Good day. The Social Democratic Front Party, Cameroon's leading opposition party, celebrating 25 years of existence. On this occasion, Equinox Television has an exclusive interview with the national chairman, Nijon Frunzi. Good day, chairman.
Good day and welcome.
Now, could you tell us the events that led to the creation of the Social Democratic Front Party on the 26th of May, 1990?
You know that Cameroonians were not able to talk in their own country. Movements were difficult. We had quite a lot of intimidations from the gendarmes, the police, the army. All these arms of the forces, instead of being a protective force protecting the people, they became an intimidatory force. And because of these intimidations, people could not air their views on what was hurting them. If your salaries were not paid, you could not talk. If you hadn't good roads, good schools, water, electricity, as we're still suffering today, Cameroonians could not talk. The difference between now and 1990 is that in 1990 we could not talk, but because the SDF brought to the people of Cameroon the power to talk, they're able now to address their issues, and that makes it a little more bearable for them. So all these things on the road that we're facing, which we couldn't talk then, is what the SDF had to come address. And today we have a society that is fighting for their rights. We have youths that are looking forward onto a future which they want to build. We have women who can fight for, because before the SDF came, a woman going out on holidays, for instance, to Europe, had to take permission from the husband. And there was terrible embezzlement in the country. Capital flight, which when we talked then, they said that no, they needed proofs. But when the party was formed and went to parliament, we've been able to prove to the Cameroonian people. And because of some of these truths which we said then, SDF will be celebrating 25 years, still enjoying a good followership, still enjoying the confidence of the people, because Cameroonians have been educated, sensitized, and they say, no, you are telling us the truth.
There are many who are of the opinion that the SDF party was created in illegality because it was created before the launching of the democratization process in Cameroon. That's the return of democracy in the country.
SDF was launched legally because we followed the constitution of the country to put a documentation together to file them for launching. The little Jaburu parties that have come behind to form and launch, most of them have copied the SDF's manifesto to change one or two words and say we formed our own party. But I think that the SDF was legally formed, and because of that we laid the foundation for the flood of parties that have come into the country now.
Celebrating 25 years today, when you look back at the SDF party 25 years back and with the multiplicity of political opposition parties, can you say today that the SDF party is a force to reckon with in Cameroon?
The multiplicity are parties formed by the regime to cause confusion on the field. Because what excuse will the authorities that choose people for presidential elections give that they choose a young man who's formed a party? He is not married. He is staying in the father's house. He has nothing to show. They make him a presidential candidate and give him money to go to the field campaign. All those are giving them to go cause confusion on the field so that the attention we should be focusing on what we want to do is diverted onto little flies that are worrying you on the foot. So I think that said, their presence in the political scene has given Cameroonians the vision to see and know which one is their political party that can help them. And that's why Cameroonians are still with us today. You saw the march passes of recent in the different towns of this country. and he saw that the SDF was a force to reckon with.
During the 25 years of existence of the SDF party as the leading opposition party in Cameroon, can you say that for 25 years you've contributed enormously in the democratization process as well as good governance in the country?
It's not me saying. You as an investigative journalist know that without the SDF you will not have what you have now.
Party is talking about upgrading the living standards of Cameroonians. The SDF was here in 2008 when the head of state amended the constitution. The SDF is still here when petroleum products in the country have increased tremendously, including taxi fares. Now, what is the SDF doing as a leading opposition party in Cameroon to redress this situation?
Well, I'm happy that you asked where was the SDF. The SDF was there. And without the SDF, you Cameroonians couldn't have even known that all these things have come up. The SDF in Parliament, then and now, they're still fighting single-handedly. They bring private members' bills to propose and condemn certain aspects of happenings in our society. They push, the CPDM use a sweeping majority to vote them out. So the SDF has been talking, has been challenging, has been yelling and crying aloud that these things are wrong. But if we say it and the majority in Parliament votes it for the CPDM that the SDF is wrong, we accept it. And the sweeping majority in Parliament has been chosen with the connivance of you Cameroonians, because they come go to schools, take young children to come, they pay them 1,000 francs to mortgage their conscience and sell their future. So all these sales that are taking place left and right, going in and out, are only being caused by the Cameroonian, especially the youths. So I'm calling on them to come out to reason that together we can join, fight for them. I'm going 75. As I say, how long do I still live to fight it the way I'm fighting? So I think that if the youths give us their support, the future is theirs. We'll fight to leave, bequeath a better country behind for them.
Now, Chairman, tell me, could the SDF be haunted? Because you're just talking about the parliament being controlled by the CPDM party. Could you be haunted by the past? By the fact that you refused to take part in the 1992 parliamentary elections, which will have led the party to control the parliament and enact laws that could lead to good governance, as the SDF party is talking about. Are you being haunted by the fact that you refused to take part in the 1992 parliamentary elections?
The SDF has no regrets at all whatsoever. People don't know why the SDF was formed. When the SDF was formed, we said, we wanted change through the ballot box. We talked of free, fair, transparent elections. The SDF marched down the streets of Cameroon with transparent ballot boxes. The SDF marched down the streets of Cameroon with computers. We wanted transparency, wanted computerization. Till today, the electoral system of Cameroon is not yet free. So, you cannot say that the SDF is regretting or has a cause or we boycotted in 1990. What was the cause? Before we came up with that position to say we're not going in, we're in a hotel room in Douala for 3 nights debating, looking at the do's and don'ts. If we go, what do we get? If we don't go, what do we not get? So the SDF's vision was not just to jump in, but to say, please, can we use the legal means as spelled down by our constitution to have free, fair, transparent elections? And we thought that by stepping out, we could call that cause of reason for Mr. Biya's government to say, look, listen, let us come with free, fair, transparent elections. It is not a thing that we are saying which people have not. Countries that came behind us, copied from us, they've changed their countries and they're comfortable. But Cameroon is still running up and down. And those elections that we boycotted, the parties that went in, UNDP, MDR, UPC, and there were about 4 political parties. They had the majority in parliament. But they refused coming together as an opposition to fight the government for the changes. And they want the SDF's presence so that if, for instance, we were in parliament to say, okay, let us form the coalition to do this. They'll go to Mr. Bia. If we form the coalition with Bia, with Frundi, we'll get you out. So give me this ministerial position, give me that ministerial position, give me that and that. They'll give them, they'll use the SDF as a bargaining power, which will not want to be used at all. We are looking onto the Cameroonian people, the future of the Cameroonian people, the future of yet the unborn child. This is what we are looking onto, and we do hope that the time is coming. As I tell people, I'm worshiping a God of time, and at its own appropriate time, He'll answer us.
When we look at the SDF today, with resignations rocking the party, we have the impression that things are not okay. It seems like the SDF is a one-man affair, as even stated by the resigned Secretary General Tamanjong. It looks like no Nijon, no SDF.
Well, those are misguided people. I've trained youths, young men and women on the field who are doing a marvelous job. They're in councils, they're in parliament, they're in the Senate, who can take over tomorrow when Frundi is not. But when you think that the SDF is only hanging on Frundi's neck, it's a lie. Resignations. The press is so awash with resignations. When a whole subsection resigns from the CPDM and joins the SDF, nobody talks about it. I've never heard, nobody's ever asked me about that. But when one person resigns from the SDF, I mean, people are so mad about it and all alike. And the next thing your journalists were asking, oh, is Frundi going after those people to call them back? I have the country before me.
That's reconciliation now.
Reconciliation, let them come back. There's a committee. Let them address themselves to that committee. But if they're not coming to address that committee, that it must be Frundi to come and carry Mimbo, come beg us. Who is begging Frundi? Are they looking at the future of the children? Are they seeing the children in this country who are going to school without schools, who are going to school without teachers, who are going to schools without benches? Are they seeing how bad the roads are? You heard that a colleague of yours missed an accident this morning coming here. Now, this is because of bad roads. People are still dying in their numbers on the highways of Cameroon. And hospitals that don't have the equipment. So when you have all these things, how do you equip the country? Are we progressing or retrogressing? And when the people who tell you that they know, the professors, the doctors, the this and that, when they tell you that they are resigning, I give you the case of one person who told me himself that, look, Mr. Chairman, I'm a professor, I was in the SDF. When we lost the elections of '92, I had to go meet to CPDM because I knew that it was going to take the SDF a long time to win because he wanted to be minister. So going to the CPDM, they might make him minister. So he left and went. But the unfortunate thing for him is that he's just a member of the Central Committee in the CPDM.
There are opinions that the country is not moving today because the SDF is whining and dining with CPDM. When I talk of the SDF, I talk of you and the leader of the CPDM and head of state, Paul Biya. Many say when you go to the Unity Palace, you are caught, you wine and dine with him, and when you come back, you abandon your stance.
That's what you say. Have you investigated to find out that what they say is the truth?
So is it the truth?
It's a lie. You remember my first Secretary General who resigned. On his resignation, he said the SDF Frundi was whining and dining with Biya. But a little after that, Mr. Biya came out here and told the world that is meeting Frundi for the first time. So people are living their illusions. You have the same problems. They say, oh, they've given Frundi so much money. Frundi has 64 billion in his account. This is Frundi with 64 billion in his account. And you know that those manipulations were manipulated in a lawyer's office in Yaoundé to say that Frundi has 64 billion. So when you, the journalists, go around concocting all this, how do you want people to sometimes to trust journalism? But I'm happy that we still have the celebrated journalists who go out to investigate and tell people the truth in our country.
At one point, we saw you in 2013. You reportedly bought cutlasses, threatening that blood will be spilled and heads will roll if things are not put on track. What finally happened to the cutlasses you bought, Chairman?
Well, let's assume I bought cutlasses. Look at what is happening in other countries. Is it the leadership that takes the lead, or the youth themselves go out? Who takes the lead? In most of these countries that we've had the revolution, evolution for people fighting on the streets, it's the youth that go out to do it. But the Cameroonian youths are so divided that just with 500 francs, they change their minds. They rig elections. Look, the last May 20th celebrations, the march past in town here, they gathered over 100 young boys and girls, gave them tickets that after the march past, they should come to the Congress Hall and take 1,000 francs or 500 francs for their food. They went there was no 500 francs. They upsetted over 3 tables that are set for the dinner and the gala. So, please, I don't think that will be deceiving people like that. Let us have real members of a political party and not hired members of a political party.
You talk about events out of Cameroon, Burkina Faso, we've seen Burundi, DR Congo. Could this inspire the leading opposition leader in Cameroon to also call...
For them to come up that way, they learned, is the leader of opposition party in Cameroon that taught them. They got that from us, and they've used it in changing their country. But the average Cameroonian still thinks that, oh, Frundi, you have to be ahead. They cut the salaries of civil servants. A civil servant will ask, what has Frundi said? I'm not a civil servant. You, the journalists, they lock up journalists. They call journalists to be reporting because they reported that Mr. Biya was sick. The journalist going to report, come back. The journalistic world says nothing. So is it Frundi to come fight for you? Teachers are today protesting at the entrance of the Prime Minister. Is it Frundi that should go protest for the teachers? So I think that you Cameroonians should be bold enough to take your responsibilities, and not for Frundi now to come take the responsibilities for everybody. The teachers know where the shoe is pinching. The doctors know where the shoe is pinching. The market woman knows where the shoe is pinching. Frundi is just there to protect them and say, please fight for your rights. When you are fighting, that's why I am with you. One of the first outings I made as a politician was when they locked up Pius Njawe and Celestine Monga. I left here for Douala. And because I got to Douala, that's when they had to release them. So I can support, and when I came to Douala, the youths were there, the whole place was steaming. They almost break down the courthouse. So, but if I went there alone, what difference could it have made? So where the people are, I'll be with them. If you're anywhere fighting for your rights, I'll be there with you. But if you want me to come start fighting for the salary of a teacher, to start fighting for the rights of the bus drivers, to start fighting for the rights of the other people in the different stratas of society. No, I've opened the door for you. It's for you to get in, look for a seat for yourself, and be comfortable.
The parties against longevity in power, Biya's 32 years in power, you have been leading the SDF party 25 years back. Are you not preaching virtue and practicing vice, Mr. Chairman?
Well, that's what people say. For how long have you been journalist?
Quite some time now.
Good. So you think I can't be quite some time? What we are saying is that for somebody to be in power, governance, and you, Cameroon, should learn to differentiate governance from activities in a political party. When the SDF takes government tomorrow, the term is 2 terms and nothing more. We'll not be going up to a term of 7 years, coming to a term of 5 years, going to a term of 4 years, running up and down, following what France is doing.
Which means you change the constitution if you...
We have to change and come down to a term of 5 years. And this term of 5 years, any SDF candidate will be for 2 terms. Who are there? And even before we came up with the socialist youths, you saw that most of our mayors, most of our parliamentarians, most of our senators are all youths. The youngest senators came from the SDF. The youngest parliamentarians came from the SDF. So how do you want us to do? That we should just take the youth and put them chairman? The youth has to go into parliament, go into council, go into Senate. They're learning, and they sit in neck with us. They're learners.
If we were asked to rewind the hands of time 25 years back and correct some mistakes with it, what will you do?
I have nothing to regret along the line. The problems were resolved as they came, and within the means at our disposal, we had to solve them the way we could within that period.
Is the chairman gunning for 2018 presidential elections?
That's a long way from now, and who knows if by 2018 I'll be alive. I don't want to procrastinate, as there are people who tell you, I give you, we'll meet in 20 years. We can pray to God to help us that 20 years we're still alive. But by 2018, it's still a long way. And more so, the SDF's approach to elections is that we go in for the primaries. People who are anxious and ambitious to stand, they come stand with whoever is standing. If I'm then still strong and fit and coherent, and I stand, other people will be standing with me. So if those people win, I bow down and wish them well and support them. I cannot start now telling you by 2018 I'll go in, I'll see. I'll be working very hard, harder than before for the party between now and 2018, so that the party will be well implanted and will motivate the people to fight for their rights, protect their votes, and not to go throw a vote and run away. We've been thinking this over and over, but I do think that 2018 is still a long way, and we're praying for health. By 2018, I'll come back to the press.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for granting us this exclusive interview on Equinox Television. We would like to have you some other time.
I want to thank the Equinox for ever coming out to do investigative journalism, to meet people on the spot and find out the truth from them. Because sometimes most of our colleagues publish things that are not true.
The national chairman of the Social Democratic Front Party, Nijon Frundi, coming back to events leading to the creation of the party on the 26th of May 1990, giving the challenges and prospects for future generation of the Social Democratic Front Party on an exclusive interview on Equinox Television. Thanks for watching. Good day.